Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Ringru, low, low, low.
And folks, today we are deviating from the Eugen tournament to give you a different tournament. This is the Metal Gin tournament. Kind of set up in a really interesting way on Sianu, but Rang, tell us a little bit more about that tournament.
So it's pretty cool. It's a preset tournament in in the first round of matches. It's a best of one elimination to get like semi-finals. Everyone plays on the same map with the same divisions, and then the next round, same map, same divisions, but different from the first one. And so everything's preset. You can't pick your divisions. You can't pick your maps. So it's pretty interesting because it does remove choice from the players, and the whole thing of hey, the division you just picked the better one was better. But yeah, I don't know, it's a cool way to set things up.
Well, the thing I think is kind of great, and I will get to the players in just a second, but it's kind of interesting to see what the community sees as being balanced divisions back and forth. Like today, of course, Rang, who do we have?
Well, we have Tuuk. I'm just gonna call him Tuuk. He's playing group as Lugo, and on the left-hand side, we have ourselves Ort Frederica playing as Trentieth Panja, both with Vanguard income. I believe you can pick your deck composition, of course. It's just you're limited to the division.
But like that's the cool thing. Like 20th Panzer, Group Bazooka. I mean, we do have groups that allow themselves to be played in variable ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, the 20th Panzer you're going to see much more mechanized, obviously, than you might again as opposed to, geez, I don't know, the Ski Jaeger. But by the same token, you look over that Bazooka, and yes, we have an early rush of, I would argue, a lot of Otomachiki, unsurprising there, but definitely a lot of vehicles that can be utilized.
Yeah, and I don't know, this matchup is definitely a cool one, as it's more to lighter uh, divisions in terms of the tanks, but still have mobile firepower of light vehicles at their disposal. But yeah, it's really going to come down what it seems to be in that northern town, as both sides are really sending in a lot of their forces up here, with Ort, with the Panzer IV, and a bunch of infantry, and even off-map. While Tuuk is going for more T-34s and Jeep Rush.
Well, but that's not to be unexpected either. I mean, that's
Mhm.
kind of, well, very expected when it comes right down to it.
Yeah, so you play
Uh,
rations.
exactly, exactly. I mean, Lend-Lease is a bitch when you're fighting against it, but here we are getting started. And we can see early on, yeah, very aggressive outbreak from the northern side, I'd argue, from the Russians. Um, but with the Jeep Rush, I'm wondering if we're going to see that 220 mil from the German side, because it's just going to drop some artillery on the center of that town, or like the 50-yard line. I feel like that'd be probably pretty intense.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Try to maybe just soften up the town before his guys go in. He is sending Flammenrohr for troops in there. And he has that troop in, but they're just a little bit slower compared to that lovely Lend-Lease uh, vroom
Jeeps.
vroom car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just enough parts.
I guess the thing that's kind of curious to me is that we are seeing an early mortar barrage, and
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's smoking. Yeah, he's smoking.
Mm-hmm. At least he's doing it
Uh,
outdoors.
that exactly, exactly. Yeah, at least where I am, it's kind of very much illegal. But the flame war getting started right now. Yeah, wow. SS trooper getting destroyed. And yep, here's the TOT, quick TOT barrage coming on down. You know, the great thing about this kind of in-your-face knife play is that this can be a very, very quick victory or a very, very quick defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for Ortfine, Federica over here, not the strongest immediate showing.
Yeah, that definitely. I mean, losing that initial infantry push has hurt him a bit, but fortunately, the off-map artillery is going to slow down Tuuk from actually pushing up into the town any further. And all it does have actually some Stoss troops just in the outskirts of the town, which he now is going to come barreling in. And they do have half tracks if he decides to use them in close infantry support.
That is certainly true, but I think I'm very concerned about the superior the Panzerfaust that are still right there. These guys are quite deadly and quite devastating if utilized correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm also kind of intrigued by this P4 Hearth. He's not going to be able. Yep.
very intriguing how quickly he blew up.
Yeah,
Yep. Cast is
yeah.
cast.
But okay, Flak 88 coming on in, as is a pair of other P4s.
Oh,
So you go down to the south. Yeah, there's a couple of M45s or M42, the 45 mils, that were shelling the incoming German kind of vehicles, doing some good damage. But with a P-Grens with a half track and support, it's an awfully good base of fire here.
I am shocked and stunned at all is using police troops. Like, absolutely shocked. I kind of see the reason why. With 20th Panzer early on, you got a lot of Versats and Osttruppen, so that's actually a reasonable choice to bring the military police out, but still, when's the last time we've seen these guys or NKVDs, Khan? I don't know.
NKVDs, actually, I think we've seen a couple of times
Yeah.
in recent casts. Now, I think I'm more confused by von Adstadt over here is charging forward with unsupported half tracks. As is, you've already seen that there's T-34s in the area. And yes, it is certainly true to say that the artillery off-map has caught them off guard and destroyed them, but you don't know what else is there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have zippy-dippy jeeps all over the place, like, you have to know there's other anti-vehicle infantry in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, off-map is doing a pretty damn good job of slowing down Tuuk's advance, as it is unloading some infantry before they get to the front line, so to speak. So yeah, it's working out well for now, but I think that's his second barrage he's called in, so he only has one more shot left.
I was sorry, I was just getting distracted by the fact there's an IG-18 and a 76 2 mil Obusier. They're shelling each other's anti-tank code right by it too. It's just an odd mirror match of sorts.
Artillery roars. It's like you know, it's like crappy little browser game where you like shoot artillery at like you have a tank and it like destroys the environment, kind of like
Oh yeah,
worms.
yeah.
Reminds
Dude,
me
I
of
grew up
that.
on that game. I grew up on that kind of game though.
Same here.
That was just, man. That was like ballistics. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Worth noting, there is a Panzer platoon coming to the north, a Panzer company, excuse me, really. And with that Flak 88 right there, I think the biggest thing he has to worry about now to the north are all that mortar fire that's coming down.
Yeah, geez, that's just a lot of things flying in the air. A lot of things, but that Panzer unit that he's bringing out, that's a pretty scary force to deal with. Of course, moving him through a town is going to be a bit scary. Also, when there's a Tiger in the town, but not of the German variety.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah, they're gonna have a little bit of an issue getting through that there.
What is funnier is that Orr, with 20th Panzer, could get an IS-2, so he could get an IS-2 to kill the Russian Tiger, which would be a fitting counter.
It would be. It'd be kind of devastating from a morale standpoint.
Yeah. Hey, that's my
material.
tank.
Exactly. And he's not there, and there it is.
Oh, yeah.
He sees it, he knows it,
Yeah.
and now he wants to show just how important it is to him to get rid of that tank.
Yeah.
First mortar in the Russian side is out. There is another 10 rounds on the second mortar, but I don't see any initial... Yeah, there's no supply trucks coming on out here.
Nope. Yeah, that's not really supply truck enough. It's definitely a bit rarer to see those A-phase supply truck units. Because it's costly in terms of availability. Or activation points for...
It's too inefficient. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But we can see right now, 1311, the Germans have been able to take a teensy bit of territory down in the south and to recapture some of their own in the north. But where the rubber meets the road or the tanks meet the track is the question about that Tiger, as well as the IS-1 Kamarotti coming on up as well.
Mm-hmm. Or KV run.
Right, thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry, we have a very brave half-track. I think he's going to meet the Führer pretty soon. Yep.
That's a lot of half-tracks. Yeah, I really like his push around the southern edge of his town here with the Panzer IIIs and the half-tracks. Proper mechanized play. Maybe not one to rate a little bit for the off-map to drop down and then continue the assault. Yeah.
It is beautifully cinematic. I will grant you that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I think maybe what he's trying to do is just stress out that tiger. He knows it's there now. He just wants
Yep.
to buy a little bit more time for the IS-2 to come on up, the point to Stalin. And he's lucky because right now there's an IL-2 going down to the south. No, IL-2 is going towards his P3s from the side. So we'll see if this Flak 88 is able to turn and fire here. It doesn't look like he's going to be doing that in time.
Beautiful
Oof.
hit. That's how you use the rocket planes, guys. Try to get your side shots.
Tiger in the meantime. Oh my gosh, just shellacking everything.
I have a feeling this match is going to come down to whoever can push the other person out of that town will pretty much just take the victory.
Yeah.
I feel like once one side manages to break through the town, they're just going to go through with tanks and a half. Just capture a lot of territory. But it's pretty even Steven still.
It really, really is, which is kind of surprising. I mean, just looking at all the material here, you would have think that there would have already been a decisive breakthrough opportunity, but there just hasn't been.
Both guys with Vanguard incomes just sending everything in the kitchen sink to try and secure this crossroad town.
Crew panicked on the Tiger.
Oh!
Bailed out. Oof. Oof, oof, oof.
I think the Panzer IV is going to finish it off. There we go.
And that Flak 88 is... Oh, there's two of them now.
Oh.
I was like, wow, he actually stressed out the airplane before he got in for a gun run.
That's a crazy amount of AA early on. I mean, of course, it's only two. He got Gepards as well. Oh, God.
How often do we see a Flak 88 actually just getting
often.
A kill?
Not often. But yeah, it's a lot of anti-air early on. I mean, he's also been using them kind of as anti-tank deterrent, I believe.
Oh, sure.
Still, it's very expensive as well, availability activation point rise to get two Flak 88s in a phase.
Yeah, but it is, but at the same time, I feel like as the 20th Panzer, you need to have that kind of hard AT
Yes.
support.
Yeah.
Worth noting in the meantime, the Combroti goes on down, so there is really no vehicles up to the north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, Ort just has a lovely amount of armoured vehicles and infantry in this town. He still has to clear the other half of it, which has a lot of angry Russians in there still. But Tuuk is still holding. He's got the artillery firing array. But a little lackluster in terms of anti-tank capabilities, or he's actually bringing in another Tiger and a Panzerschreck Sword.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you look down south, as we just got a very quick look away from the moment, it's kind of hanging out. People are just kind of relaxing a bit. There's a bit of fighting, but they realize that, discretion is a better part of valor. I feel like everyone's waited with bated breath to see how this northern side is going to go.
Yep, and we've got more Panzer IIIs barreling down the road. More Panzer Grenadiers. Just really Ortiz sending absolutely everything up here. Rod Tuuk doesn't really have too much, really, in terms of numbers.
This is the Schwerpunkt. This is where you want to go. I mean, we're seeing Tuuk is redeploying with, oh my gosh, I won't even try to say those guys' names, but the Chernopits, I'm going to try. The Chernopits
Yeah.
But the Chernos are being brought on in, and they're being deployed. Okay, it looks like we're going to see maybe a resurgent Russian push in the south. Don't know that's going to happen. In the meantime, we're seeing a Ju-87 to the north. He sees the next Tiger, and he says, you know what? I believe in population control here.
Yeah, that's going to be a very efficient way to kill that Tiger tank, that's for sure. That is a 37mm AA gun, though, so... I mean, with cluster bombs, the nice thing is you don't really have to be accurate. So I think he has a good chance of making that Tiger go kaboom.
Well, it depends on... Oh, no, the Tiger's picking the worst time to go forward. Had he stayed back, we got another couple seconds over top of that 37 mil there. Yep.
That's how you kill a Tiger.
And that's just brutal, though, from the Russian perspective there.
Mm-hmm. We've got Pioneers with SVTs, pretty much German Sappery squads being brought in. And they're not something you want to be going up against, especially if you are a Sappery squad.
No, sir. Now, we are seeing a couple of DP squads to the south, not Superiors, but well, look, yeah, Strokey DPs, um, doing some rather good work with PTRDs. Unfortunately, they're not existing in any hefty enough numbers to really make a big difference.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because usually with a lot of Russian divisions have more infantry out in the German. So to be fair, Group as Lugo does not have a lot of infantry slots to work with. So it is a little bit tougher in the infantry game for him.
True, but I guess here's the question: would you prefer Ultima Cheeky on a map like this, or would you prefer to have Strokey DPs? For my
Rookie
money,
DPs.
exactly, exactly. Ultima Cheekies are nowhere near as good as they could be, but I think that's very much driven by the range issues on those PPSHs.
9R2 cluster being brought in. Primus' best bet in stopping this Boita IS2, but
He's not gonna get the rounds off.
oh,
Might even lose it with all the flak. Shockingly enough, he makes it out alive.
almost.
If he gets
Jeez,
taken
how
out,
much
that'd be awful.
flak? It's like another flak gun in the middle. Jeez,
Up from the
the flak 88
Oh
is.
wow, yeah,
Yeah, I
okay, yeah.
know.
So that being brought on
Holy
in, it's
crap!
incredible, and another one being brought on in as well. But
What's
17 to
playing it like
7.
Rommel?
Yeah, but you know what? That's how you play it though.
Yeah, I like it. So you don't really see heavy flak 88 play that often, and flak 88s are really good guns, guys. Multi-purpose. You can stick them in heavy forest. Of course, they do take more damage and get suppressed faster compared to regular anti-tank guns. But they can also shoot down airplanes, so you know you get.
6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's the thing though. But at the same time, this is like I'm sorry, let me try this again. We are seeing to the north. It's exactly like you said. Right now, as the Soviets saw their heavy tanks go down, the front's completely collapsed. It is
Mhm.
17-7. These mortars have smoke, and that's it. We have a couple of meager T-34s, and we have basically this one artillery barrage.
Yep.
If this doesn't do it, I don't know that Tuuk can hold out.
Yeah, and I have a feeling the Panzers may be able to just clear the artillery barrage before all the artillery does its barrage.
Well, it's a 152 as well, so it's possible to see the armor break, but 152 I feel like is far more likely to just cause morale damage.
Yeah, it's really it. And now we're seeing Ortiz invest in air power of his own, and that is working wonders for him. He starts bombing that northern side.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. So it was a quick one, folks, but at the
Mhm.
same time, you kind of understand why.
Yeah, there was a lot going on during that during that E phase, but all managed to push on through, quite literally.
And yeah, that 220 was the a star of the match.
Ooh, he has got a lot of kills.
And I would argue that a lot of the morale damage he did to kind of pin down the Russians early on was key to kind of keeping them contained in that kind of 50-yard line.
Yeah, yeah, and good use of the Panzers. Really great example of how to do like an bloody hell, early 20th Panzer push. You got Panzer threes, the Panzer fours, and behind all of that, you got your Flak 88s and your Boita IS2 ready to do some heavy damage.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
This was how you play 20th Panzer.
Yeah, yeah, and 20th. I love seeing 20th Panzer being played. I hope you do too, Khan. I
I
think you
I
do.
I totally do.
He
Very
totally
much so.
does.
Exactly, exactly. It's nice to see a mechanized division being played with some panache.
Hmm.
So I know we saw Von Osterstadt over here get taken down, I think, by Frublord last week. But so it's nice to see him back in action with some, fine play under his belt.
Yeah.
But folks, I do want to let you know, it is still the final opportunity. I think you can still sign up for season 2 of the Skill Division
Yes.
League. So
Yes.
check in the description for that. Also, this week only, I think we are dropping 3 different matches. So keep an eye out throughout the week. A little special something coming to you later this week. Okay.
Okay.
Any final thoughts, Greg?
I like how the Soviets do when they label the Tiger like T6 Tiger because it's the Panzer 6, so they just call it Tank 6. But they forgot the E in Tiger. It's just Tig. Do you think they have E's in Russia?
If they do, I think the comrades give them to you. So let's
Oh,
not talk about it too much, or else we might have an issue.
that's true. And I don't want any issues with my local NKVD officer. Last time
Exactly.
was it still hurts. My whiplash is in the back. Anyway,
Well, until we have Commissar Gaunt. Until next time, folks. I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.